Worried that Kim Jong-un was in danger, North Korea took urgent action. The South Korean intelligence agency recently reported that the Democratic People's Republic of Korea has tightened security for leader Kim Jong-un amid concerns over assassination plots. The National Intelligence Service of South Korea informed lawmakers that North Korea has upgraded Kim Jong-un's security detail by deploying jamming devices and researching the use of power generation equipment for unmanned aerial vehicles. This move is believed to be aimed at ensuring the safety of the North Korean leader in case of assassination attempts. South Korea pointed out that Kim Jong-un has had approximately 110 public activities this year, an increase of about 60% compared to last year. The South Korean intelligence agency also noted that North Korea stopped using the Dutch calendar in October, a numbering system based on the birth year of the late leader Kim Il Sung. They further stated that Pyongyang is intensifying efforts to strengthen Kim Jong-un's position. Meanwhile, the South Korean president's office announced that President Yoon and his Ukrainian counterpart, Volodymyr Zelensky, agreed to hold strategic consultations to jointly respond to military cooperation activities between Russia and North Korea, including North Korea's dispatch of forces to Russia. The two leaders of South Korea and Ukraine accused North Korea of transferring weapons and deploying troops to Russia, condemning these actions. For his part, Russian President Vladimir Putin did not deny the presence of North Korean soldiers in Russia. He affirmed that the implementation of a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement with North Korea, which includes a mutual defense clause, is a matter for Moscow. Nick, a spokesman for Ukraine's Tactical Operations Group SIVS, recently stated that the Ukrainian military has not yet engaged in direct combat or captured any North Korean soldiers in the Quercia province of Russia. A few days ago, Ukraine's defense intelligence accused that some North Korean soldiers had departed and arrived in the Quercia province of western Russia after being trained in eastern Russia. This information was shared by the Ukrainian Military Intelligence Agency on their official Telegram account. The Ukrainian army has established a relatively solid foothold after a surprise raid in this area in early August 2024. Ukrainian military intelligence reported discovering North Korean soldiers in Quercia, noting that approximately 12,000 North Korean troops have been deployed to Russia and trained at 5 training grounds in eastern Russia. Initially, the Kremlin dismissed the allegations regarding the presence of North Korean troops on Russian territory. However, at the BRICS summit, President Putin did not deny the information, stating that Pyongyang had sent troops to Russia. Ukrainian intelligence also alleged that among the North Korean forces deployed to Russia, there are 500 officers and 3 generals. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky stated that Kiev has intelligence information indicating that Russia is training 2 military units from North Korea, which could be 2 brigades, each consisting of about 6,000 personnel. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin also stated that there is evidence of North Korean soldiers present in Russia. In light of this information, the Lithuanian foreign minister expressed concerns about the risk of the Ukraine conflict escalating into a global conflict. Meanwhile, the Swiss delegation, which is holding the presidency of the UN Security Council, announced that the agency would hold a meeting at Ukraine's request regarding the allegations of North Korea sending troops to Russia. According to the Swiss permanent delegation, this meeting will take place on October 30th. The Russian deputy ambassador to the United Nations, Dmitry Polansky, stated that Moscow had previously requested to convene a meeting on October 31st regarding the transfer of Western weapons to Ukraine and the consequences for the prospects of a peaceful resolution to the Ukraine crisis. Sweden confirmed the establishment of a framework to allocate $7 billion in military aid to Ukraine for the period 2024 to 2026. According to The Independent, the Swedish government and the Swedish Democratic Party have reached an agreement on a new support framework for Ukraine. This move has strengthened trust and support for the ruling parties in parliament. According to European Pravda, the Swedish government on October 28 decided to allocate €63 million, approximately $68.1 million, to support Ukraine as part of previous military aid packages. The new funding will include €20 million to support Ukraine's industrial base as part of Denmark's initiative to purchase weapons from Ukrainian manufacturers. This decision was made after the government last week authorized the Defense Property Management Agency to negotiate and sign an agreement for the free transfer of the corresponding amount to Ukraine for purchasing defense equipment. The remaining funds from this package, approximately €43 million, will be used to finance several multimedia initiatives to support Ukraine. This funding is expected to support a coalition to purchase air-to-air missiles for Ukraine's F-16 program, a coalition to train Ukrainian Marines, a coalition for bomb disposal, and a coalition for information technology. Additionally, as part of this support, Sweden will also contribute to NATO's comprehensive support package for Ukraine, including the purchase of military equipment. The Swedish government also noted that it is related to the situation of aid to Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned of the risk that the US might stop supporting Ukraine if Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump wins the upcoming election. Speaking at a press conference, President Zelensky stated that he had not heard Trump express an intention to stop supporting Ukraine, but he agreed with others that there are risks. This is why Ukraine has its own plan on how to self-strengthen, which will be very difficult. He noted that if the US stops supporting Ukraine, it will be a victory for Russia and a significant loss for the West. Recently, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte confirmed that North Korean soldiers have been sent to Russia and deployed to the Crimea front, in the context of Ukraine still maintaining an offensive campaign in this border region of Russia. The NATO Secretary General stated at a press conference that after officials and NATO diplomats received related information from the South Korean delegation, the increasingly deepening military cooperation between Russia and North Korea poses a threat to both the security of the Indo-Pacific and the Euro-Atlantic. According to Rutte, the presence of North Korean soldiers in Russia marks an important escalation in Pyongyang's involvement in the Ukraine conflict, violating UN Security Council resolutions and representing a dangerous expansion of hostilities. The NATO leader suggested that the deployment of North Korean troops to Russia signifies the growing desperation of Russian President Vladimir Putin. A senior Ukrainian official stated that sanctions would not be an adequate response to North Korea's involvement in the war. This individual also called on the West to provide more weapons to Ukraine, while the Pentagon stated that there would be no restrictions on Ukraine's use of American weapons against North Korean forces if Pyongyang soldiers engage in combat against Ukrainian forces. The Pentagon also estimates that over 10,000 North Korean troops have been deployed to training in eastern Russia. Reuters reported that Pentagon spokesperson Sane Xiang stated that some of these soldiers have moved closer to Ukraine. We are increasingly concerned that Russia intends to use these soldiers in combat or to support combat operations against Ukrainian forces in the Crimea region near the Ukrainian border. Commenting on North Korea's involvement in the war, Andriy Y, head of the office of the Ukrainian president, stated that sanctions alone would not be sufficient to respond. He said that North Korea needs weapons and a clear plan to prevent the expanded involvement of North Korea in the conflict.